Hello everyone, welcome back to Phil Rider's Diaries. And we've got ourselves a lovely day, so we try and make the most of it. We won't make the most of it over in the Lake District National Park. That's absolutely chocker full of tourists and caravanettes and Winnebagos and goodness knows what else. Now we're heading towards Hartside, which hopefully at this time of day will be nice and empty. So I've just filled up with petrol, and this is something worth remembering, I think. I worked this out last year, or maybe a year before, when I was trying to do a feet-up U-turn in my driveway after just filling up with fuel, and not really bearing in mind I've got another 21 litres, 21 kilos high up. You know, you think 21 kilos, give it some thought, that's 10% of my bike's body weight extra, suddenly high up. So I'm just saying, be a bit wary of it. It can make a difference, as I found out as my bike went over. Feet up U-turns, it's all about ego. So what I'm going to do today was talk about Skully, and whether Skully was a good idea or a bad idea. As it turns out, it's a bad idea because they've just gone into liquidation, but not without taking $4.5 million worth of Kickstarter money. Kickstarter is like the crowdfunding over here, and it's exactly what it says. It kickstarts a product, or you fund a product with a crowd of people, and then that gives the manufacturer money to research, design, improve a product, and then you get first call when that product gets released. So kickstarting, crowdfunding, in theory it works great, and on this occasion Skully came out with an absolute doozy. I mean, what they were doing, they were trying to take helmet technology into the 21st century. You think about it, your regular crash helmet, it's pretty much stayed the same ever since they went across from leather caps into fiberglass lids, and with crash protection and a little bit of comfort aside, a few forays into Bluetooth, no one ever did anything with a humble crash helmet. And then along comes Skully, and they say, well, actually we've got a rear facing camera in our lid, and we've got Bluetooth connectivity so you can connect up to your phone, and we're going to have a sat-nav, and it's going to be projected via a heads-up display onto your windshield, onto your visor. And I suppose because nothing like this had ever come along before, it got an awful lot of hype and an awful lot of publicity. So I suppose for Skully to get their 3,000 person quota, each one shoving up $1,500. What's $1,500 to us? Maybe £1,100 with the current exchange rate? Thank you, Brexit. So 1,100 quid, $1,500 people were putting forward per person before they'd even seen the product. Now, a couple of prototypes were released. It went on to some popular YouTube vlogists, and by all accounts it worked well. It was a good product, but it's this price tag. This price tag really kind of gets me, because the life expectancy of the average crash helmet is about 5 years, I'm guessing. I've never used one for more than 5 years. Sometimes it's as little as 2, depending on how often you use it. A crash helmet's going to degrade the more often you use it, because of the oils in your hair and your head. It gets into the polystyrene, it weakens the polystyrene, the crash helmet no longer becomes effective. And then you've got the shell on the outside, it gets exposed to UVA and UVB rays, and it breaks down the integrity of the shell. So whether you like it or not, your lid is getting damaged every time you go out on it. So you've got $1,500, £1,100 spent on a lid that's only good for 5 years. Right, now here's the kicker. All the technology in that lid is not transferable. It is tailor-made to that lid. So it's not a case of, oh, I can just have 5 years of my lid, and when it's given up, I'll get myself a new one, and then they'll just put all the stuff in my Skully into my new lid. No, it doesn't work like that. So what you're doing is you're putting in a $1,500 commitment into a lid that's good for 5 years. My lids, the one I'm wearing at the moment, that's about 200 quid. So it's over 5 times the price of my current lid. I can have 25 years of safe crash helmet technology for the price of a Skully. Now, whichever way you cut it, that's a lot of money. And it could have been an awful lot more. But Skully had to keep costs down. So naturally, where did they go to get everything made? They went to China. Now, Chinese products and tech especially, it's nothing new. A lot of people are using Chinese products now. From sat-navs to dash cams to Bluetooth. In fact, all the things you're going to find in one of these lids, you'll find made cheap as chips in China. Now, the tech in itself wasn't a problem. If it proves to work, then it works. There's some very good quality Chinese stuff coming out now. The problem was the lid was made in China as well. Now, you know, let's have a look at what the job of the lid is first and foremost. It's to protect your head. And what we found was that people were putting £1,100, $1,500, and what they were getting was a £60, $100 lid with supposedly $1,400, I presume, of tech in it. And that just doesn't wash. You know, first and foremost, you've got to spend the money on the lid, as far as I'm concerned. You know, you can have all the trickery pokery you like, but that's not going to help you when someone actually takes you out and your nuggets on the line. And bikers, particularly anyone who uses specialist equipment, they're very particular about the equipment that they use. You know, if you was going hiking, you buy a particular backpack or a particular pair of boots. If you was a footballer, you'd have particular equipment. And bikers are no different. You know, you don't just rock up and say, oh, we've got a £30 pair of gloves here, but they're as good as a £120 pair. No, bikers want their own gloves, the ones that feel comfortable, the ones that give them the protection, because the first thing that goes down when you go down is going to be your hands. Same goes for the lid. So what you had was an $100 lid and let's call it $500 of tech, and they were charging $1,500 for it. No. So people didn't buy them, and sooner or later the inevitable happens and Skully go to the wall. Now the question remains, what happens to those $4.5 million that people did for the kickstart, for the crowdfunding? And that's when all the reports start coming out, because apparently all the CEOs who never resigned spent it on fast cars and spunks up the wall on hookers and blow. Rah rah, go America. Don't you just love to hear stuff like that? So there you have another great idea that's gone to the wall, because investors or directors were more interested in lining their own pockets and having a good time than actually providing the customer with a product that they've already paid for. Crowdfunding gone bad. So back to my original question, was it a good idea? In theory, I always took the opinion that it was answering a lot of questions that nobody was asking. was people really asking for rear mounted cameras, for head up displays, and Bluetooth connectivity. That's been around for a while now. People have been using it for their phones, for their music. You know, when I go touring, I like to listen to music myself. I'm too pikey to spend £120 on Bluetooth connectivity, and my experience of Bluetooth is that it doesn't work very well anyway. And for the sat nav, well, I normally mount it onto my headstop mount. Now, admittedly, I've got to look downwards for my headstop mount, whereas on a head-up display, of course, I don't. I can just keep looking forwards, and there it is. Is that worth $1,500? Not in my book. So Skully, great idea gone bad. And as my dad would say, because he had a way with words, was you can't polish a turd, son, but you can roll it in glitter. I miss my old man, especially at moments like this. So we see what happens. We see if this Skully idea is actually pushed forward other people's way of thinking on how we regard the crash helmet. And in a way, I kind of hope so. I'd like to see the tech move forward. But I think it's shown it's not going to happen anytime soon. So there you go, that's my little roundup of Skully and how the mighty have fallen. And if you go on YouTube, there's a stack of videos about it. Probably a lot more fact than I've got. But I'm off to the Hartside Pass, because I've got to concentrate. So take care everybody, and I will speak to you soon.